Copper Wort in 00 gauge, exhibited by Pete Goss. The period modelled of the early 1900s represents the high point of the brewing industry in Burton-on-Trent. An extremely busy town with the bigger breweries establishing their potential with the Midland Railway, with the smaller breweries muscling in between them. The layout includes a track plan based on the much larger Worthington's arrangement to accommodate the numerous Midland Railway and Great Northern open wagons and outside framed MR vans. The buildings are based on the breweries of Bass, IND Coop, Truman's and others, all based in and around Burton-on-Trent.
Eaglesham in 00 gauge, exhibited by Bill Auld and the 12 AD Model Railway Group. Eaglesham is a fictitious layout based on the track plan of East Kilbride, which was situated some 5 miles away. Set in 1912, the layout portrays the Caledonian Railway in its heyday. When the layout date is changed to 1923, we see some of the Calla stock appearing in the new LMS livery. While the stock appearing on the layout is not strictly prototypical, it does show the variety of motive power and coaching and wagon stock that operated all over the Calla system. The layout has recently been extended to include, at one end, a materials storage area for the viaduct under construction, while the other end has one viaduct already in use. All the rolling stock is either kit or scratch built. There is very little ready to run for a pre-group layout. The track is code 75 SMP with hand-built pointwork. Most of the buildings are also scratch built from original drawings.
BurntIsland 1883 in P4 gauge, exhibited by East of Scotland 4mm Group. The year is 1883, and the railways of Fife are largely isolated from the national network by the firths of Forth and Tay. All passenger and goods traffic must transfer from the railway to shipping at BurntIsland for onward journey to Granton Port, Edinburgh and the south, a considerable impediment to the profitability of the North British Railway Company. Passengers will be hoping for a calm crossing on the exposed decks of the ferry Thane of Fife, whilst wagons are transferred to the world's first train ferry. Carrier is the goods boat on duty today. The port of BurntIsland is thriving and now supports an active coal export trade. The schooner Solveig is loading cargo of coal for Bergen. This is the background to BurntIsland 1883, modelled to P4 standards and operated via DCC using a lens system. Originally built in response to the Scale 4 Society's 1883 challenge, the layout has been expanded to include representation of all aspects of the port operation. It now also incorporates models of the locomotive roundhouse, wagon works, and numerous railway works-related structures. Almost all models on display have been hand-built. Locomotives are an idiosyncratic Victorian mixture and include number 224, the Diver, recovered from the wreckage of the Tay Bridge. Carriages and wagons are a similar mixture and purpose-designed brass kits. The whole model is set against a background of the town of BurntIsland, as deduced from contemporary maps and illustrations. The trains are operated to a sequence based on the 1883 working timetable.
Michaelerplatz, OBB, HO gauge. Exhibited by Mike Upton and Mike Rule. Michaelerplatz, OBB, is an important S-Bahn station located on the outskirts of a bustling city in Austria. This station plays a crucial role in connecting the local residents with various destinations within the city, as well as the surrounding countryside. It serves as a transportation hub, offering regular train services that cater to the needs of both commuters and travelers. In addition to passenger services, Michaelerplatz station is equipped with facilities to handle freight operations. It features a small freight shed and a depot that serves a prominent supermarket chain. The depot receives trip freights from larger marshalling yards, where extensive shunting of wagons takes place. This ensures the efficient distribution of goods and supplies to the supermarket. To support the smooth functioning of the station, there is a stabling area and a light maintenance shed nearby. These facilities are utilized for the servicing and upkeep of locomotives that originate from the adjacent marshalling yard. The station is frequented by a colorful variety of trains, including intercity and Eurocity expresses that connect the city with other major destinations. Additionally, various types of freight trains, ranging from trip freights to heavy freights, can be observed passing through the station. Alongside these long-distance services, the station also serves as a vital stop for local S-Bahn trains. These trains cater to the daily commuting needs of the local residents, allowing them to travel conveniently within the city and its outskirts. Northallerton, in N gauge. Exhibited by Cleveland Model Railway Club. Northallerton, in North Yorkshire, is an N-gauge, 1:148, representative layout of the post-2000s privatised network, set in Orton. Constructed by members of the Cleveland Model Railway Club, the layout is DCC-controlled by an ESU command station, utilising iPhones and iPads for handheld wireless operation. Northallerton has always been a major junction on the East Coast Main Line, and it remains so to this day. Although the track arrangement has gone through various incarnations, we have attempted to represent the track as it is today. Many local features can be identified on the layout, including some of the railway buildings. Stock is mainly Farish and Dapol, although there are some offerings from CJM, and the odd 3D printed model. Of note is the autumnal railhead treatment train, hauled by a pair of Class 37s. Class 66s and Class 60s can be seen hauling steel, coal and containers amongst other freight. Passenger stock includes Class 91s, HSTs and Voyagers. San Andreas Beach, in O gauge. Exhibited by Garth Ponsonby, from the Perth Model Railway Group. San Andreas is a 1:48 O-scale layout. Based loosely on the Santa Fe Surf Line in California, running south from Los Angeles to San Diego, originally built by Garth Ponsonby and Jeff Bishop. San Andreas is a fictional coastal location where the double-track line from the north becomes single. There is a large station depot based on Stockton, constructed in the Santa Fe's well-known Spanish style, in which arches are a prominent feature. We shortened it somewhat, reduced it in height from 3 stories to 2, and made it a mirror image of the original. There are sidings serving a fruit packing plant and a plastics factory, also a short team track for unloading carloads into road vehicles. One of the principal aims in constructing the layout was to run lots of colourful trains, with the Santa Fe's passenger, and some mixed traffic power units, in warbonnet livery, and their equally attractive blue, or blue and yellow freight locos. Unlike many American lines, passenger trains are as equally at home as freights. We do like to see long freight trains, however, and this was another aim in designing the layout. Construction is straightforward, with plywood baseboards, and relatively uncomplicated electrics, although with plenty of power available, capable of running the typically large and heavy trains usual in American O-scale. All visible track is hand-built, with Code 148 rails spiked to timber sleepers on main lines, Code 125 in sidings. Track in the hidden area is Pico with mostly hand-built points. Searchlight signals are provided as was done on the prototype during the 1940s.
Laramie Engine Terminal, in O-gauge, exhibited by Peter Kirkman. This layout depicts part of the engine terminal, MPD, on the Union Pacific in Laramie, Wyoming. Set in the late 1950s, it consists of the 135-feet turntable, the 650-ton coaling tower, and part of the 27-track roundhouse. Motive power comes from the big boys in their final years, plus diesels and gas turbines in their early years. In the early 1940s, the Union Pacific Railroad produced one of the largest steam locomotive classes ever built. 25 big boys were built in response to the increased wartime traffic. By the mid-1950s, they had been largely superseded by diesels and were put into store. The summers of 1957 and 1958 saw them return to service for their final moment of glory, pulling massive trains from the California fruit harvest east the 50 miles from Laramie and Cheyenne in Wyoming, over Sherman Hill. This layout aims to capture what it was like fueling, watering and turning these monster beasts for this swan song. The layout is built in American O-scale 148 32mm track, which means the models of the big boys are big, around 3 feet long and weighing nearly 10 kilograms. Full use is made of DCC sound to give these models even more presence. They are based on 1960s Japanese ready-to-run models built for the US market, but with much added detail and weathering. All the buildings and the turntable are scratch-built. Inverkeithing in N-gauge, exhibited by Ted Burt. Inverkeithing is the second station after crossing the Forth Bridge on the Fife side of the Forth. The layout was built as a result of purchasing a Kato Azuma and needing a location. I was also tempted to run other up-to-date modern stock around 2020, so vinyls were obtained to produce an Inter-7 City HST and some Fife Circle coaching stock. ScotRail spotty livery units and some specials make up other passenger services.
Got a 158 to Perth at the Cupar and Falkirk line. And on the way back from Perth, it was coupled up to a 170.
Eli Wood in Engage, exhibited by Eric Farraher. The model is based on an imaginary location, somewhere in England, and depicts an electrified main line, a branch line, and a turn-back siding to watch trains. The rolling stock, including the working road vehicles, are a mixture of ready-to-run items and kit-built models that may have been seen in the period 2000 to the present day.
Calla Fountain Crossing, Engage, exhibited by Bill Garden and the Perth Model Railway Group. The layout portrays a fictitious mountain and valley scene in North America, where long trains can meander their way through tunnels and over bridges. In North America, numerous duplicate lines were built by separate railroad companies, and the layout displays this. The ground-level track, once a single line, was upgraded to double track to improve the transportation of passengers and freight during the early 20th century. The doubling of the line necessitated some new bridges and the cutting of additional tunnels. The upper track is from a rival railroad company which had to take a higher level route due to the space limitations between the mountains and river. The shelter on the upper track was built to divert the constant fall of loose rock from blocking the line. The rolling stock is varied according to group members' collections, allowing trains from the 1940s to the turn of the 21st century to be run, so both American and Canadian trains may be seen. In North America, freight trains can be well in excess of a mile in length, but even in N-gauge there is a limit to how long a train can be, given the constraints of layout size. Track is Pico code 80. Train control can be either analog or digital, so all three tracks can be set accordingly depending on the availability of suitable locomotives on show days. Point control on the fiddle yard is via servos operated by a merged servo 4 circuit board, controlled by custom-made control panels.